I started out playing with Les McCann in the early 90s. And it's kind of where I got my teeth cut and learned about this ridiculous business we're in. First of all, any inspiring, musicians that's really looking to do this for a living, or is this something you as well too? So, it's so funny. People think that a lot of people think that because you have a good talent and you can, produce this music, that it's just about that. It's so much more than that. It's a connection-based thing, first of all, and then, you get these situations where you got an amazing player, but they're late to everything, So that's one thing that'll get you kicked out of it, or that people start turning their nose up about. And I learned that the hard way when I first started. I thought because I could play, I could show up 2 minutes before the gig and stuff. But those type of things don't work. And then another thing we see a lot is unpreparedness. People send music out for you to learn, and you listen to it, but you really don't learn it, and that comes to bite you in the end. So I'm just saying that to say that, when you get these opportunities, make sure that timeliness is a big thing you need to pay attention to, and having the material ready. Because it goes a long way, it really does. I mean, I know tons of musicians that can play their butts off, but they're unreliable, and that's a mark on you. So I just want to let you young guys know that if you really want to do this, those are 2 things you need to really pay important attention to. So, but back to myself, I started with Les McCann in the 90s. I toured Europe for years and learned a lot of things, played with a lot of great musicians, from Eddie Harris to, I actually got to play with, I just went blank that quick. I'm losing my mind here. Eddie Harris and Les McCann, they were a duo together, but he was, Les and Eddie Harris were a duo that did a lot of things in the early 60s, and they had this dynamic thing going on. So I got to, while I was playing with Les, we would do all these crazy jazz festivals in Europe and Asia, and we got to play with a lot of other, cool musicians. And Frank Morgan, who was who I just drew a blank on, so I got to jam with him in the early 90s before he passed away, and it was really cool. And he told me something. He said, he signed my horn case, and my horn case says, keep playing and getting better and you'll be out of work. Right? So I quite didn't understand that until later. I'm starting to see exactly what he's saying, And there's only, jazz is a interesting art form, so it's only a certain amount of people that really understand it and get it. And the new hot thing is, as someone mentioned earlier, instrumental R&B is what's going over as jazz. And for me, that's just something I really don't do. Like, I guess it's considered smooth jazz. And it's cool, if that's people's thing, it's okay with it. But for me, smooth jazz is kind of just here. It never plateaus. I mean, it's like something to wind down before I'm after work. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's some great smooth jazz players. I got plenty of friends that do that. But I like to, do stuff where I get to create. And on the fly, like for instance, the band that I'm playing tonight with, I've only met one guy in the band. So, and it's going to be very interesting how we're going to get together today. I sent them music as a roadmap because I didn't want it to be perfect, because that's what, I guess when I go to a smooth jazz concert or you go to that, everything is so tight and polished, and there's really not room to create and have things going. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight, to playing with these guys. I play with a drummer. You guys know Steve Pruitt? Yeah, I met him back in Dallas when he was playing with Snarky Puppy when they first started, and he's a bad dude. And he's from Oklahoma, isn't he? Isn't Steve from here? He's a bad dude, so, but definitely make sure you tell all your friends to come out tonight. What time do we start? 7:30. 7:30 till definitely come out for that. So, but again, these guys are, I sent them just snippets of tracks of how I wanted, what I wanted to play tonight, and it would be really cool if you guys show up to see it, how a band, comes together that's never played together, and we never rehearsed, and I know it's gonna be fire. I already know it, so definitely tell all you people about that. So, but back to Les McCann, playing with him and traveling the world. He showed me a lot of stuff. I mean, I was a little hothead. I thought I could play, until Eddie Harris runs up on the stage, or Bobby Watson, these guys, Johnny Griffin, and I got humbled really quick. So I'm just, definitely study your form, your art form. If you really want to, play a horn or keyboards or bass, make sure you listen to all the older guys, because they set everything up for us and gave us a good roadmap. And unfortunately, a lot of the younger guys are listening to the stuff that's coming out today, in which they're bypassing all the fundamental stuff. So I would say definitely check into that. So I'm more a rhythm-based player. Everything is rhythm with me. It's almost like playing drums on the horn. Very rhythmic. And of course, I've learned to play melodic too, because I'm a horn player, but the rhythm is what really pushes me. So I wish we had a drummer. Any drummers in the house? Nobody? No drummers? Okay. So, it's been a very interesting journey. So, and then I went on from Les McCann to playing with a childhood friend of mine by the name of Roy Hargrove. You guys have heard of Roy? Okay. Me and Roy went to school together. We grew up together. And we've been talking about starting a band since we were in 9th grade at Arts Magnet in Dallas. And in 2001, he's like, man, we need to do that band. And I was like, I got you. Let's work it out. So he came to Dallas and I put this band together. And the band went on to be the RH Factor. You guys hip to that? Yeah. So we did that record in 2001 and we toured all over the world, and it was an 11-piece band. It was crazy. We had a lot of fun. From there, I met Marcus Miller. And Marcus Miller, I toured with him from I think 2004 to 2009. And we did festivals all over the world, and I got to meet a lot of other jazz musicians, from Al Jarreau to Herbie Hancock. Actually, I went on tour with Herbie Hancock for a while. It was a very interesting experience working with Herbie. Working with some people that I grew up listening to and idolizing. And then from there, I was on my bicycle. 2012. I'm a mountain bike rider. And I was on this trail and my phone rings. I keep my phone, on my bike, and I'm out of breath and I answer. And this guy goes, "That's Victor Keith?" I'm like, "Yeah, who's this?" "This is Prince." I'm like, "Yeah, right." So he goes, "No, man." He goes, "I saw a video with you playing with Herbie Hancock. I want you to come out to Minneapolis and jam with me." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." He goes, "Well, I'm gonna have my people call you." "Okay, bye." Click. And I'm like, wow, I've heard stuff like that. And this is not for Prince, but so 10 minutes later, they call. They're like, "We have a flight leaving out tomorrow at 8 from Dallas. Can you come?" And I still didn't believe this was true, but it was true. So I took the flight and went out to Minneapolis and jammed with Prince and Larry Graham the first day I got there, and it was crazy. So, and then he decided to put this giant horn section, 11-piece horns together, and that came about because at the time D'Angelo was out on tour, and Prince goes, so how many horns he got? And his manager goes, I think he's got 5. Prince goes, well shit, I'll do 11. So he got this group of guys from, these guys from South Carolina, Adrian Crutchfield and his crew, they came down, and then me with Phil Lassiter and Sly Sylvester from Dallas. It was a lot of, it was like the younger guys was on this side of the stage, and then the more experienced guys were on the other side of the stage. But it was 11 of us, and it turned into a mega horn section. It was crazy. And then after that, we're in the pop world, so now it's time to learn dance steps while you're playing. You doing a dance step, and you got to duck while the trombone player goes over your head, So, and we rehearsed all the time. So that experience was really, because we rehearsed way more than we ever played. But he was a perfectionist, so I remember we played for George Lucas's wedding, and that was crazy. The Obamas were there, and it was very star-studded, and we could not stop rehearsing until it was perfect. I've never been in a situation like that. Like the show was like 2 hours and 40 minutes straight, and we go through the whole show, and there's a major key change on the last song, and the bass player missed it. He's like, all right, let's run it again. He was intense, He was intense. He had a lot of interesting rules, like the way I'm dressed now would not go. There was no street clothes, no tennis shoes, no jeans, even in rehearsal. And I was the bold one. I guess I was actually the oldest guy in the band at the time, I think, because everybody else was in their 20s. And I was like, I got a quick question. So we're in rehearsal, it's closed, nobody can get in. What's up with that? And he goes, because at some point, somebody's gonna get in, and it's probably gonna be somebody with a camera. And if they Google your name, my name's gonna come up. So I have to have you guys always looking good. And once he explained it, I understood it. But people were complaining about having to dress up for rehearsals and not wear tennis shoes, and it was a big thing for a minute until we put things in perspective. I'm like, all right, so it's kind of weird. We've never dealt with this, but ask yourself this question: you think you'll ever get another gig where someone's paying $5,000 a week to rehearse? So in that case, you can afford to go to Ross like I did, buy some clothes. So it was a really interesting thing. And then everything was about image. So when it was showtime, we had to have 3 outfits. We had to, whatever we wore to the venue for sound check, then we had a wardrobe for the show. Then we had an after party. We always did after parties. So imagine having, taking 3 outfits to a gig. And again, we are responsible for, unless when we're on tour, there's people that take care of that type of thing. But when we're just like doing spot dates, we got to do it. So now we got guys complaining about paying dry cleaning bills, so back to perspective again. So it was an interesting time, and I got to play with him at the White House too, with Stevie Wonder, doing Obama. Obama had a huge party that he threw, that he invited everybody out personally, and they took everybody's phone, so there was no pictures and nothing like that. And so Prince didn't show up for the photo op with Obama. And I got to stand next to Obama, and everybody was pissed off. Oh man, let me stand there. So that's some fun with. So Prince was a very deep guy. I learned so much from him, and I have been listening to him since I was a kid, but never really listened to his guitar playing. He was so bad. It took me to a whole nother level when I really just sit down and listen to him play the guitar, and how he put things together, how he knew exactly what's going on. I mean, he was, he would even instruct us how to walk up to the, I played, the last big giant gig I did with him with the big band was in New Orleans at the Superdome. And it was 80,000 people there. And it was like he instructed me how he wanted me to walk to where he was playing, like in the stride that he wanted me to do it. Like he could see this, so, you would think, this and Prince was about 5'2", but people don't know that. He was a really short guy. I think he even had some high-heel flip-flops. but he knew everything he wanted. And that was crazy to, be with someone that, knows everything, from the lights to what you're wearing to how you walk on the stage to ultimately to the music. And I really glad I got to be a part of that. That was a life-changing time being with him. And after the 2014, the horn section was dismantled. So we did that. Superdome was the last gig, and he cut it down to 4 people, 4 horns, and I got to be one of the horns that stayed. And so we did a lot of, other touring with that. So, and then in 2016, he was doing his piano thing. Oh, and by the way, he was an amazing piano player, for those who don't know, on top of the guitar player playing. He was finishing that tour, and we were scheduled to start rehearsing, so I'm in the airport in Dallas on my way to Minneapolis, and across the street, Prince dead, as I'm heading to rehearsal. And that was a rough day. So I went anyway. I went on to Minneapolis, and I've never seen anything like it. It's like the president had been killed. I mean, everybody once I got into Minneapolis, from the people in the airport to the limo driver to the hotel host, everybody was just so somber. And it made me realize how big this guy really was, Never seen anything like that. And that was a really crazy time. And during that time, right after that, I went to just normal physical, went to take a physical, and I was getting on a flight to Europe, and my doctor calls, or his assistant calls and says, hey, we got a referral for you to go see an oncologist. I'm like, what? An oncologist? You mean cardiologist? Because I have heart history in my family, so I wanted to get checked out, because that's the referral I asked for. She goes, no, oncologist. I'm like, there's got to be a mistake. She goes, well, your doctor didn't call you? I'm like, no, nobody's called me. So long story short, I found out that I had bone marrow cancer. And so I went through that whole thing. So it was true. I had no symptoms or anything. Nothing was showing. So my son, my 18-year-old son, was my bone marrow donor, and I'm 3 years in remission now from that. So it's good. I got down to about 130 pounds once I was in the hospital getting the transplant. And during the transplant, I had some visitors. Herbie Hancock walked through the door, Marcus Miller. It was crazy. So I had a lot of support from the musician family during that time. So, and then on from there, I just started, just doing stuff as my own band. Again, I had done it over the years. I did a lot of recordings prior to that. Like she said earlier, I played with Kanye West on his first couple of records. Did a record with Al Jarreau, Kenny Lattimore, Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin, and so I've been around doing this for a minute. So I've had fun. I've had a good career, and it seems to be still going. And I thank you guys for having me here. And now let's play some music. If anybody want to play some music. So we don't have any rhythm section players in the house? None? No bass players, drummers, keyboard players? All right. like I said, I'm prepared. I got some tracks. So, we can. So y'all want to come on up? You want to jam a little bit? So we're gonna create something here. So I'll play a chorus. Okay, yeah, you start. These guys are good. All right, we'll play something you guys know. I know. I love playing with the young guys. We got a violin in the house. Look at that. How about some blues here? B flat. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming up and hanging out. Stefan, Josh, Javon, and I'm Keith. We had a good time, so tell all your friends to come out tonight, 7:30, and there's other stuff going on before that. There's even a jam session, at 4 o'clock, so I might even try to come back to that if I can hang out. So, anybody got any questions before we get out of here? Kanye West, I was in LA working with Marcus Miller, and my friend, which I went to church with, is Kanye's first cousin. And he's like, hey man, I got this track I want to send you that Kanye wants some saxophone on. And I'm like, all right, send it. He goes, what's your email address? And I gave it to him. And I'm like, where are you guys at? He goes, we're in LA. I'm like, I'm in LA. So I'm like, I'll just come down there and do it. So I went to the studio, and it was really crazy because I didn't like the way my horn sounded. It was really distorted. And Kanye was like, yeah, that's what I want. I just want something, sound like a radio sound. So that's how so it's the song on his first record where he's telling his story about the car wreck and everything. And that's me playing behind it. And then there's this song on the second record called Drive Slow. And I did the soprano sax on that. So, and it, side note, it took me 2 years to get paid for those. But anybody got any other questions before we get out of here? Oh, okay. So I was like 18 years old then. In Dallas, Cap came through with his band, and they put together a band. And I think it was a bunch of local horn players, Lee Charles Mitchell on sax, Malcolm Roberts on bass, Shelly Carroll playing tenor, and I was playing alto. And we was playing this hit song, The Mooch and whatnot, and a sax solo on it. And he liked what I played, so he's like, come on man, give me another, keep going. So that was a fun time, they were actually asking me about trying to go on the road with them, but I was so young then and I wasn't ready for that. So, but it was fun. I had a good time with that. Anything else? All right, thank you guys. We had a good time, and I'll see you guys tonight.
So a couple things that I want to tell you guys for some of the new joiners that are here. We do have a couple sponsors. Thank you, Renewal by Anderson over there. We also have all kinds of jewelry back there at Pink Chic Boutique. If you're looking for any bling, definitely stop out there. We also have a silent auction. The silent auction helps us raise funds so we can bring in musicians and keep this free, because the goal is to always be able to put this on for free for anybody to be able to come out and enjoy the music. We don't want to charge. So if you see anything out there you like, please do bid. We've got some wonderful different local businesses that have provided us with items, as well as some local artists. Castle Row Studios donated 3 hours of recording time. If any of the musicians are looking for some studio time, we do appreciate all of them. And our next group that's going to be coming up is Josh Dubois. You've got just a taste of him. He's the trombonist that jumped up there. Him and his trio will be up just shortly, so hang tight for just a few minutes and they'll be up, okay?